Hello everyone, welcome back to the kitchen. Today we've got ourselves an awesome recipe. We're going to be making ourselves an anabolic carrot cake. This will be nice and sweet, still moist, and it's something that is low enough calories that if you eat the whole thing yourself, as I'm about to be doing, you don't feel so badly. It helps you towards your protein goals, and it comes in at less than 500 calories. For our anabolic carrot cake, we're going to need a lot of ingredients. So we're going to have some non-fat Greek yogurt, some replacement brown sugar, some no-calorie sweetener, some pumpkin puree, shredded carrots, sugar-free syrup, all-purpose flour, powdered almond butter, coconut flour, orange marmalade sugar-free, pumpkin pie spice, cinnamon, salt, double-acting baking powder, egg whites, vanilla extract, imitation butter extract, and lastly, unsweetened applesauce. So to put these ingredients together, we do need to take a bit of an order. I'm sure you all are used to hearing about mixing the wet ingredients and the dry ingredients separately. For us, we are just going to mix the dry ingredients first and then the wet ingredients. But before we get to that, make sure you get your oven preheating to 325 degrees. For our first ingredient, we are going to be using 17 grams of powdered almond butter. Then we are going to add 10 grams of all-purpose flour. We will then add 7 grams of coconut flour. We will then be adding 10 grams of our brown sugar replacement. Then we will take 20 grams of our no-calorie sweetener. Next, we're going to add about 3 grams of pumpkin pie spice. We will also be adding a couple of grams of ground cinnamon. And of course, a couple grams of salt. Lastly, for our dry ingredients, we are going to be adding 2 grams of a double-acting baking powder. Actually, I almost forgot. On top of that, we're going to need a scoop of vanilla protein powder. Now we officially have all of our dry ingredients ready. But before we get into mixing the wet ingredients, we need to prepare our carrots. Because as you can see, these carrots here are matchstick carrots, but they're not going to be small enough pieces for us to use in our carrot cake. So to take care of the carrots, we are going to first measure out 120 grams of our carrots. Now, looking at that measure out in the bowl, you'll think that's quite a lot of carrot. And indeed it is. It is called carrot cake. To be able to get these carrots that we have measured out able to be used, we have to take these matchstick carrots and make them smaller. So we're just going to use a regular pair of kitchen scissors to cut them up. Now you can see we have the carrots chopped up to be much finer. Note that you can also, instead of just chopping these matchstick carrots up by hand, you can also run them through the food processor if you would rather have even smaller bits. Now we're back to our bowl. What we have to do from here is start adding in our wet ingredients. The first of the ingredients we need to add is our sugar-free syrup. Next up, we are going to add 34 grams of our sugar-free marmalade. We are then going to add 61 grams of our unsweetened applesauce. Then we add 75 grams of our fat-free yogurt. The next thing we have to add is 75 grams of our pumpkin puree. The very last thing we need is 92 grams of our egg whites. Once everything's added to the bowl, we add in our carrots and then we mix everything. Once you're all done mixing, it should look something like this. Again, we're using cast iron to cook, but this time it is the large 8-inch cast iron skillet instead of the big one. So before we load it up with our batter, we're going to hit it with, you guessed it, non-stick spray. Then we just load up our batter into the skillet. Now it's ready to go into our 325 degree oven. All right, so it ended up taking about 45 minutes, but here we have it. Now I'm going to let it rest for a bit and cool off, and then we eat. All right, everyone, it's finally cooled off and we're ready to eat. So we're gonna take a look, and I want you all to see it's still nice and soft, but it is now firmed up. And so it actually finished cooking. It might have looked a little bit underdone when we took it out, even though it had all 45 minutes in the oven. So let's dig on in. Oh my goodness, look at that. We still have some steam coming out. You all could let it completely cool off, but I'm eager. So cheers, let's eat. Honestly, if somebody were to give this to me and tell me that this was under 500 calories, I would not believe them. Right, the nutrition facts are right here. All right, so under 500 calories in this, over 50 grams of protein. Can you beat that? And because of that low calorie density and high protein density, I can eat this entire skillet. It's a completely guilt-free entire cake. I mean, look at this. Under 500 calories. All right, so everyone, I'm gonna go back to eating this. This has been great. Thank you all for tuning in. All right, so before you leave, why don't you go ahead and smash that like button, hit subscribe, ding that notification bell, and drop a comment down below for the algorithm. Maybe you'll want to click over here, check out the rest of my channel. And until the next one, always remember, stay worthy.